Let me tell you, if you've never woken up to find the entire neighborhood losing its mind because of something you did on your own land, you haven't really lived. So picture this. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. The sun is just coming up over the Texas hills. And there's Karen, yeah, her blocking the only road into our little slice of peace with orange cones and a metal gate she says is illegal. She's on the phone screeching for the police, her sunglasses sliding down her nose, flailing her free arm like she's flagging down a chopper. 911, yes, I need the police out here now. This crazy man's locked the whole neighborhood out. My son is baseball. What am I supposed to do? And I'm just standing there on the porch with a mug of coffee, watching this circus unfold on my own driveway, thinking, you know what? Maybe I really should have moved to Montana. Now here's the part that people never believe when I tell this story, the metal gate she's screaming about. It's on my property, my private ranch, land I'd let these folks use for years out of pure neighborly decency. But after what they pulled, not anymore. Karen's pacing like a tiger in a cage, phone glued to her ear, throwing looks at me like I just robbed a bank. She yells across the yard, "You can't do this. This is a public road." And I just say, cool as ice, "No, Karen, it's my private driveway. Always has been. Y'all just never asked." That's when she starts yelling into the phone again about how I'm threatening her, never mind that all I've got in my hand is a coffee mug. Yeah, that happened. A few minutes later, the sheriff rolls up, dust flying, lights spinning, making it feel like the set of a bad cop show. My stomach's doing somersaults, not because I've done anything wrong, but because when you've got an HOA as vindictive as Fairview Meadows breathing down your neck, logic goes out the window. The deputy steps out, sizing up the scene. Karen's in tears. I'm standing there by the gate I installed legally, and suddenly my peace and quiet comes down to a stranger who doesn't know the history. But let me back up a sec, because none of this started with the gate height. Started the day I stopped being a pushover. Name's Lucas Walker, 42, Army vet, single dad, proud owner of a ranch on the edge of southern Texas. Spent a decade raising my son Ethan here, living easy with horses, chickens, and more peace than a man could ask for. Then the HOA moved in. Developers built Fairview Meadows right behind me, wrapped the neighborhood around my ranch, then just started driving through my dirt driveway like it was a shortcut for the whole world. I let it slide at first, neighborly and all, until they decided my generosity was a permanent invitation. I come home one day to see a pack of HOA board members debating whether to pave my road in concrete. "It'll raise everyone's property values," says some guy with a haircut as slick as his suit. Karen, officially Karen Bradford, president, pastel blouse, hair like spun straw, voice like a dentist drill tries to sweet-talk me. "Lucas, honey, it's better for everyone. You can't keep us stuck in the past." And I just tell her, I'm not in your HOA. Her smile never reaches her eyes. Maybe you should be. You know what I mean? Kindness is a currency they spent until it was gone. Suddenly my driveway was a parade route, trucks, bikes, scooters, you name it. One day, I almost lost a rooster to a teenager on a moped, so I asked them to stop politely. They laughed in my face. Then came the letters official looking, threatening fines for not keeping up the public access road. I sent them back unopened. That's when things got weird. Fake permits, construction crews, digging ditches tried to catch me napping. I called the county. They said I was the fourth rancher to report HOA scams like this. So I played it their way. Sent a certified letter announcing I'd be installing a gate in a week. Karen flipped. Neighbors screamed. School bus drivers complained. Someone dumped trash at my fence. I kept my head down, built the gate, checked every law, marked every line, made sure I was solid. That first morning the gate closed, I felt free until Karen rammed into it, called 911, and now here we are. Back to that moment, sheriff standing between us. Karen's husband Mark screeching up at his SUV, red-faced, and yelling that I'd better open that gate or he'd sue me into the ground. I don't move because, honestly, I know exactly what's coming next. The deputy tries to play peacemaker, but Mark's not having it. "You locked us out. Our kids can't get to school," he shouts. "You have another exit, a main road. My driveway's just a shortcut." Karen starts wailing about years of use. I tell them, I didn't block anything. I just reclaimed what's mine. The deputy lays it out if it's on my land. I'm not in their HOA. I can gate it. Karen looks like she's going to faint. You're taking his side. I'm taking the law's side, ma'am. You'd think that was the end gates up, law's on my side. But that night, I find tire tracks out back, someone trying to find another way in. Next day, someone calls Ethan's school to report dangerous, unsupervised dirt biking. Karen's fingerprints all over itches on the school board, of course. Now she's coming after my kid, not just my land. Ethan sees through it. Why do they do this? He asks. Because, son, kindness is weakness to people who need to control everything. But we stand our ground. So we reinforce the back trail, put up cameras, motion lights, make sure nobody's sneaking in. That's when I see a banner at the HOA clubhouse. Emergency meeting stop the gate. I get a letter taped to my gate. Attend a mandatory resolution, hearing, or face legal escalation. I'm on land I've owned since before Fairview Meadows was even a street name. But it gets uglier. Someone throws a rock with a threatening note, just wait. That night, I hear a bang, run out, and catch someone breaking the back gate lock. I chase them with my old military flashlight. They vanish into the woods, but I'm rattled this isn't just neighbor drama anymore. It's open warfare. I call the sheriff again. He sees the damage, bags the threatening rock, promises to keep an eye out, but we both know unless someone's caught in the act, it's just paper trails. The next night, red spray paint on my new gate, "You don't belong here," with a pig drawn underneath. Ethan says, let's build a wall. I actually consider it. We start putting up a proper fence, marking every line, every post private property, and no trespassing. Some neighbors curse, others just stare. Then a drone buzzes the backyard. I grab Ethan's baseball bat and knock it out of the sky inside the memory card. Videos of our ranch, our faces even inside our barn. Now I'm not just annoyed, I am furious. I take it to my old military buddy, Jake, who's now a lawyer. This is stalking, he says. He draws up restraining orders, calls the sheriff, and suddenly the tables start to turn. Karen's back the next day with cops, tears, drama claiming I assaulted her drone. I show the footage, hand over the memory card, and tell the officer my lawyer's filing charges. Karen's face falls when she realizes I'm done playing defense. Then the HOA sues, argues adverse possession, claiming rights to my driveway since they've used it so long. Jake laughs me paperwork's airtight, but a folder's missing, the one with old survey photos. I check the camera steer's mark, sneaking into my house with a key I'd hidden in the flower pot. Breaking and entering caught on tape. Jake piles on the charges. When Mark gets served, Karen tries to talk, crying now, not yelling. But before I can answer, Ethan shouts from the back, "Someone's cutting the fence." I find 3 men in HOA shirts with a power saw. I record everything one runs. The others mutter, "Karen said we could." The law doesn't care. More reports filed, and now the sheriff opens a real investigation. Jake calls. "We've got a restraining order, Karen, and Mark can't come near us." But Karen isn't done. Next morning, she calls the police, claims my fence electrocuted her son retrieving a soccer ball. Cops come. I show the footage. Kids are just goofing off, tripping over goat feeders. No shocks. Karen's caught lying to the police. The officers tell her she's lucky I don't press charges. Weeks pass. Neighbors start turning on Karen. Stories surface about her bullying, fake fees, even using HOA money for spa days. At the court hearing, Karen's a no-show. Restraining order goes permanent. The HOA's fined. My gate ruled private for good. But the board sends an offer $35,000 for a permanent easement. I burned the letter. I still don't get it. This was never about money. One night, another drone drops a thumb drive on my barn roof. Note says, "You can't watch everywhere." I take it straight to the sheriff. Turns out it's loaded with ransomware. Now it's cybercrime. Cameras catch HOA board meetings plotting to harass me into selling. Caught on tape, and suddenly the news explodes. Veteran rancher harassed by HOA. Neighbors rally signs in support. People apologize for going along with Karen. But the twist? Turns out the HOA was being bankrolled by an out-of-state developer wanting my land for oil, water rights stuff I never knew I even had. They paid off, Karen. The whole fight was just leverage to get me to sell. I turn everything over to Jake and a private investigator, who digs up a paper trail linking Fairview Meadows HOA to a shell company. We go federal racketeering, fraud, harassment. The HOA collapses. Karen vanishes. Her vice president, Greg, fined for his part in the scheme. Brent, their IT guy, turns whistleblower and helps expose the whole scam statewide. I get the best letter of my life, me driveway granted protected private road status. No one can ever use it but me and Ethan, ever. I hang it over the fireplace. You want the real ending? Ethan gives a field trip for his class, showing off the ranch, the new fence, the goats, the high-tech sensors. What started as an all-out war for peace turned out to be a lesson in boundaries. Sometimes you have to fight for what's yours, not just for yourself, but for everyone watching. So if you've ever had to stand your ground against a bully, a board, or even your own doubts, don't let anyone tell you kindness is weakness. Build your gate tall, keep your head high, and the right folks will always stand beside you, not just try to get through. Let me know in the comments, have you ever tangled with an HOA or a neighbor who went too far? What'd you have done? And do you think there's a line between community and control? Drop your stories below, and if you want more wild tales from the ranch, you know what to do.